Good afternoon. Today is June 26, Florida Democratic primary debate numero uno. Like and subscribe, hate and comment. This is going to be a quick video about what I think the 10 candidates that are running tonight that'll be on the stage, what they need to do to get over the crowd. You may be saying, why should anyone listen to a Republican on this? And the fact of the matter is you should, because I am what the prototypical candidate needs to win over in November of next year. You need to get the lukewarm Republicans out there to your side. Now, I may not be the one who will switch to your side, but there are going to be people that are Republicans that you need. You need independents. You need the light Democrats. And in a state like New Hampshire, they actually can vote in your primary. So some of this will be whether you want the Iowa strategy, the New Hampshire strategy, or the let's roll the dice strategy. So there's 10 candidates, and the format tonight of those 10 candidates, it's a 1-minute question, 30-second follow-up. There are 5 moderators, and I'm going to make the assumption that a lot of them do not like the president. So without further ado, I'm going to go in alphabetical order, and we're going to start with this guy right here, Cory Booker. And what he needs to do, if I was Cory Booker, is right now you are everybody's third choice. You're not the second choice. Not with progressives, not with the youth, not with gays, not with blacks, not with liberals. You're kind of the third choice. But you have an ample opportunity tonight to take out one of the second choices, which is Elizabeth Warren, who, according to MoveOn.org, is a lot of people's second choice. She's the placeholder for Bernie Sanders if they can't get Bernie. You need to figure out how to punch into that ticket. If you can get into that route, then you can move towards progressives. Then you can move towards liberals and gays and women and get going that way. Now, second person on this list, Julian Castro. You've ran a subpar campaign, to say the least. You're not even the first choice amongst Latinos who might want a Latino, because apparently they think that a guy named O'Rourke is more Hispanic bending than you are. Maybe there's a reason why they didn't put you on the ticket back in 2016. You need a debate tonight where you introduce yourself to the people, especially Latinos, because you need a base. If you don't get a base, you will not be on the stage come July. Now, the next person on this list is Mayor Bill DeBlasio. You have to prove that you are not Donald Trump without a lot of money. See, New Yorkers, while you do get the most press, you also have the most hatred. I don't know if you're an outer borough guy like the president, but you're not even well liked in the city right now. You need to step up. You need to show how you're different, and you can't simply run against the president. You need to run against the man who's leading your party. And right now, that's the former Vice President Joe Biden. You need to get some separation, and maybe, oh maybe, you will be around. Otherwise, you're looking at a not making it to Iowa. Now, the next person on the list is John Delaney. I don't know who you are. No, literally, I don't know who you are. You started running for president last year, and yet I have to go to Wikipedia to find out anything really about you. You don't talk about your military background. You don't talk about that you've been a congressman for 6 years, or that, well, you're a lawyer. Why not? This is your debate to get the moderates out there. You already know you are not going to beat Warren in getting the liberal vote. Don't try for it. Florida has an awful lot of veterans. So does Iowa. So does New Hampshire. Try to at least cut into that lead. And again, the overall that I put on there on Facebook and Twitter and in videos, if you're not going after Joe Biden, you're not going after the president, you're not winning this race. You need to figure out how to get that military vote onto your side. And you need to do it tonight, or you will not qualify for the next debate. Now, as I kept trying to sneak her in, Tulsi Gabbard. Now, you represent the progressive wing, and you're probably their second choice. At least the far left progressive wing. Embrace it. Try to figure out a way to get the support of AOC or some of the other extremely progressive liberals in your caucus. You're not going to win the White House, and I don't think you were running for it. You're running to represent that very far left wing. But if you want to get out tonight, expose it, espouse it, and be proud of it. It's not what I believe. It's not what the country needs. But you need to try to up your level. You're going to be one of 3 women out there on the stage. This is your chance to make yourself the number 1 woman on that stage, at least for the night. And if you can do that, you can stick around a little bit longer. Now, after that, you've got John Easley. I make it a habit of not trying to pronounce people's names right who haven't ran a good campaign. You want to make environmentalism and climate change the centerpiece of your campaign. Really? You're talking to other Democrats, remember? They already are on your side for that. You need to figure out something else that comes out tonight. You really have to go after Biden because you're kind of in the same boat as him. You represent an older audience, and you need to get that audience on your side. They will not talk about environmental issues because, quite frankly, it's not going to win the moderates, and it's kind of a unifying thing already. You guys don't have really much diversity in it, so don't try for it. Now, another name I can't pronounce is Amy Klobuchar, Minnesota senator, okay? You're known for 2 things. Your grilling of during the Supreme Court hearings and your perception that you're kind of a bee. Not my words, that's Politico, and that's apparently your staff. Tonight is the chance to either go full Carly Fiorina and just, you know what, start throwing bombs, and you know what, maybe you can make it into the big stage. I know the Democrats didn't have a big kids table and a small table, but you're kind of at the small table. So here's a night to expand about it. Use what people think is a negative, that you're aggressive, and use it to your advantage. If not, again, you will not make it to the big kids table anytime soon. Now, the person here who apparently is still good with the Hispanics is the Irish-American 4th generation Beto O'Rourke. Now, you've had a troubled campaign because, quite frankly, you didn't beat Ted Cruz, and, well, that's kind of where you're at. You didn't do your job. You need to reintroduce yourself tonight. And quite frankly, you need to sound more motivated. Like, you got to get animated. And more importantly, you're the one person who gets to attack Elizabeth Warren. See, everybody else should be out there trying to go after Biden. You actually have to go after Warren because you need something that people remember you by. You're technically in the top 2% range, but you're falling like a rock. You're like at 4 in most polls. And you're not polling very well in Iowa. And you need to figure out a way to get into Iowa because, well, you're probably not going to stay around to South Carolina if you don't get your act together. So tonight, actually go after Elizabeth Warren. Just do it. If you want a shot to be the president, you need to figure that out tonight. Now, Tim Ryan, I have a picture of you, and nobody knows very much about you. And unlike Delaney, that's not that bad, okay? You kind of look like Paul Ryan, but not as muscular. You actually have time to build an audience. So you have to find your audience tonight. Now, I know Democrats hate to talk about Donald Trump, but one of the reasons why Donald Trump is president is when he had that opening press conference about his announcement. The thing about immigration, man, that kicked off. Now, I don't know if that's your issue. I don't know what your politics are. But you know what? You got to find one issue that Democrats can go, yeah. And if you can do that, you can slowly ride the train up. You don't have to win Iowa, okay? You have to be relevant somewhere. And maybe that relevance is New Hampshire. Coming in second or third is not that bad. You have to find relevance somewhere. And if it's an issue that like immigration, or if it's like tax reform, or if it's jobs, you figure it out. You got to figure it out tonight. And you got to figure it out in that format. And last and certainly not least is the big dog of this debate, which is Elizabeth Warren. Apparently, according to MoveOn.org, you are the second choice. The second choice behind, well, Bernie Sanders is kind of everyone's person, but or not Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden is everyone's person. But then the Bernie Sanders people, they want to go to you if they don't want to go to Donald Trump. And yes, I do mean Donald Trump. Okay, remember Bernie Sanders voters, probably about 15% of them voted for Donald Trump back in 2016. And there doesn't seem to be much change, at least in the recent polling. You represent that wing of the party. You had a horrible beginning. You've kind of rebounded. You're number 2 or number 3, depending on the poll, with Sanders. But Sanders will win New Hampshire, at least in current stating. Biden will win Iowa. And if Kamala Harris is still around, she could win South Carolina. You need to fit a square peg into a round hole. And tonight, you can't sound like yourself. You're not known as a great debater. I mean, you're the senator from Massachusetts, but your own popularity the year you were elected was actually worse than your opponent. It's just your opponent's Republican and it's still Massachusetts. You have to figure out a way tonight to appeal to an audience and as an introduction of the first time. So you get to reintroduce yourself. You know that you're probably going to have a candidate or two that's going to swat at you, and you need to know how to swat back. And you can't do it sounding angrily. If you do, you're going to go, well, nowhere. You should win this debate no matter what, because you are at the little kids' table, and prove why you should be at the big table, and why this whole table dividing of co-equals and putting majors on each side makes no sense. So I know this was more than 5 minutes, but we'll see what happens after the debate, and like and subscribe and hate and comment, and I'll be back later on.